Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
That's right, we are back. It is episode 137 of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. If you have not yet, please make sure to go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We need all the subscribers we can get. We need them all.
Please.
So yeah, make sure to hit that little bell. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. Ring my bell to get those notifications. But we are here. It is episode 137. As I said, we are reaching the end of the Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Finals. We're almost there. They'll probably be over by next week.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Before we record.
Especially with the news that we're going to talk about with Tyrese Halliburton.
Not good news there.
No.
But let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about our weeks and weekends leading up until right now. Chad, how was your week?
This last weekend was really fucking good, man. We went to that Mountain Pass bar there at Gaylord. It's this massive sports bar.
That one way out in was it like Aurora? Or no, you're talking about the casino.
No, it's not a casino.
Where the hell is it at?
The Gaylord, right? It's like 10 minutes away from right here.
Oh, I think that is like Aurora, isn't it?
Well, it's Aurora, but I didn't know
northeast Aurora.
Yeah, it's crazy that they qualified it as Aurora because it's pretty much in the airport. But yeah, dude, it was fucking sweet. Like the TV sizes in there are like the size of a theater.
Yeah.
And then they have like it's not like broken up by like frames or anything like that. It's seamless. And so they had the Rockies playing the Braves and then the NBA Finals going on at the same time. And then once the Rockies got beat like really badly, they put the whole screen on the NBA Finals, and then it's just like, of course, TVs everywhere, and it's not like B-dubs where,
so it's like one giant screen, but they had two things on it at the same time?
Yeah.
And then, like, when it stopped, it was like, pew, back to, like, full screen of the NBA
after
Finals.
the Rockies thing, then it went to, like, a bigger one.
I can't believe they put half the screen on the Rockies.
I was shocked, too. I was like, why are we watching this? Like, can we just get to a bigger NBA Finals? And what's funny is, like, I was making my bets earlier that night, and the Braves were down, like, 2-0 early in the game, and then, of course, the Rockies blew it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. Go check it out. You don't have to be a guest at Gaylord to go. And so it was just like damn good food. I seriously felt like a kid at like Chuck E. Cheese, to where I was just like, oh, this is fucking sweet. Like she was just laughing at me. Like how I'm just a fucking chat. Like that's what I just love. Is like badass sports bars. Like
I live and die by my name. Unfortunately,
I do, man. I manage a fantasy football league. It's part of my birthright.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy though. It's not like you've seen those crazy ones that are like it's almost like the sphere, the half sphere.
Yeah, there's one like I think in LA or something. I know it might be Dallas, but I really want to go to one of those. But
yeah, those ones look wild, especially when they cut to the end zone and it looks like you're sitting like
it's crazy
on the wall.
Yeah, I would like to do that, but I mean that's what I'm saying is like it's so much better than B-dubs because B-dubs food blows. And like there's some other cool sports bars for sure, but like I always like the Tavern. They used to have one down in DTC, but I think it closed down. But yeah, it was a badass time. And then Saturday we went to the pool. I got a little sunburnt. Had to get that out of the way.
Nice.
First burn of the summer.
Gotta get that base coat.
Exactly. We'll call it that.
Gotta get that little base coat going.
Yeah, and then we cooked up more brisket burgers.
Nice.
And played a bunch of cards and watched Thug Rose and Newsman fight. Really good fights that night. And then Sunday. God damn it, there was something I was gonna mention Sunday, and then I fucking totally spaced it. We watched. So it was like super hot Sunday, so it's just like, man, I don't really feel like doing much. So just, I mean, I got a bunch done around like throughout the day, but just like when it was the dead of the day of like 1 to 3, I finally watched Lone Survivor. with Mark Wahlberg, the true story.
Oh yeah, where they're like up in the wilderness, the army.
Yeah.
That's
Really
pretty
cool
cool.
movie, man. Yeah.
I think I've started to watch it. I don't think I've ever actually watched the entire movie.
I know it. I need to check it out because I had finished the David Goggins book about a month ago, and he had mentioned that he was in the same squadron or whatever
Platoon
they
or
call
whatever,
it. Yeah, and so he knew that guy and Marcus Luttrell, and then just hearing about the story, I was like, I need to watch this movie, and I was like, it was heavy, just like all good war movies. But man, this one being a true story, it's definitely worth a watch.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got a little caught up on Silo. I've been watching that on my own. I'm on season 2, episode 3 now. Halfway through that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's definitely a different show, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, another show to check out.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now.
Yep.
You got to.
What about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend's pretty good. Yeah, it was super hot this weekend, which sucked. You really didn't want to do too much outside unless you were by a pool. We're not by a pool, so I didn't do too much outside. I did. Our old couch has been sitting on the side of her house in pieces, and I was like, shit, I need to do something with it.
Yeah.
So Saturday, I put it into the back of the van and took it to the yard. And then I smashed it with a bobcat.
That's fun.
And then put it in the trash.
Did anybody record it?
No, we didn't record it.
It's too bad.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that was kind of fun. So I did go out for a bit. Also tracked down, some groceries and things while I was out and about. Came back and did a few things after it cooled down around the house. But other than that, kind of hung out, watched some of the UFC fights. I wanted to bring up that the last prelim fight. What do you think about that one?
The Paul Craig up kick. Yeah, that was another acting job right there, man.
Dude, I was gonna say,
I couldn't believe it.
I was like, I feel like that guy had money on himself to get or whatever in the round 1. He's like, yeah, if I can win or get a no contest in round 1.
Yeah,
because he totally gets kicked, falls down. He's like, what the fuck? And then he lays there and he's like,
oh my gosh. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen, man. And then he tries to fight the referee. And he's like, what? And the ref's like, no. And it was like almost as bad as Aljamain Sterling when Peter Yan kneed him.
Oh, yeah.
God, man. It's like, dude, come on. Can we just... This is like SGA flopping out here in the UFC, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were good though. I was glad Thug Rose won, and she did come back from getting knocked down. She got knocked down once and then really came back from it. But damn, dude, her fights are really getting boring.
Yeah, the last few have been kind of just plodding back and forth.
Nothing's really happening with it.
So yeah, that rounded out my Saturday. I was kind of batching it all day. Merrill had to go cut hair, and we had an event on Saturday night, so I was just hanging out with the dogs. Sunday, went over to the knee circles thing with the boys. Then went and cooked my parents some steaks and stuff.
Cool.
For Father's Day. Yeah,
yep.
So it was Father's Day. So
that's awesome.
Happy belated Father's Day to all the Fajas.
That's right. I got my dad a couple of gifts, dude. I got to tell you about this one. He, he likes his libations, of course.
Yeah.
I found this koozie that says, I identify as water.
There you go.
Perfect, nice little simple gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How'd the steaks turn out?
They turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
smoked them for like 45 minutes and then grilled them at like 450 for like, it's like
kind of like a reverse sear.
Basically. Yeah, but on a Traeger. It was pretty good. Yeah, my mom made some caprese salad, which is a favorite.
You do like that? I remember you had
some caprese.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good. Good Sunday, and then
we did steaks too.
Yeah,
you got to.
You got to. You got to have a good steak every once in a while.
Some red meat. This weekend.
Other than that, yeah, just been busy doing the work thing. Last week I had to work a couple nights to go make sure everything was lined out on these jobs so that they didn't get run over by these crazy people out at the shopping center. They don't care. We were literally, I went and walked around to go look at all the shit we're doing right now with he's like the lead supervisor. I guess he'd be like the project manager for this company. And while we were walking around looking at the job, we're talking about how crazy everybody drives. And I'm trying to measure this part, and he tells this guy to stop. And instead of waiting like 2 minutes, this guy throws it in reverse and reverses down the street Well, this guy is turning the corner and doesn't see him reversing, because why would somebody be fucking reversing at you?
Yeah.
And he smashes into this guy, and he's like, see, he's like, this is why we had to put those speed bumps and shit in. I was like, damn, dude, we just watched an accident.
Holy shit.
So yeah, like I've been having to make sure like
What?
everything was set up traffic control wise.
What?
Yeah.
Did we start? Yeah.
Bye.
It's all good.
Yeah, we started early tonight, so
Yep.
but yeah, so yeah,
That's crazy. It's all damn. You're lucky that you got to see an accident. I was so bummed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't remember when there's anybody hurt, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it does suck when you see somebody all fucked up.
No, but you know, when you see a little fender bender,
Yeah.
it's like, you fucking driving.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, so I've been my week was all weird because I was working at night, and then I stayed out till like 3 a.m. one night, marking a whole bunch of areas that they had to patch. So like, yeah, I was all bass-ackards last week with my sleep schedule.
Throws y'all off.
It does, you know, it really does. But yeah, other than that, pretty good week. We're here. Crazy weather today. We got some crazy hail. I don't know if you saw in Milliken, they got baseball-sized hail.
Windshields were just shredded. It was crazy, dude. Yeah, this morning we woke up to it kind of like pelting our windows and everything, and little man was freaking out. There's lightning everywhere. I was like, holy cow, man, what a way to wake up. Yeah. She was like, you want to bring your car in? I was like, nah, that's all right. I'm about to leave for work.
Yeah, it's going to get beat up on the way either.
I got that great app, the like My Radar app. It's very accurate, and it shows like kind of a 5-minute progression of like where it's going. And yeah, I was like, it's going to pass right over. It's been it was like northeast where it hit everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys get like ice cubes up there or anything?
No, we didn't actually get anything, but I got woken up at like 4 a.m. by the National Weather Service, basically saying that we were going to get baseball-sized hail, and I was like, well, you know what? If it happens, what am I going to do?
Yep.
So I was like, I'm not just going to go stand there and watch everything get destroyed. I was like, I'll just wake up and see the damage when I get up. So, but yeah, then I got up and there was no hail or anything. It just rained.
Sweet.
But then on my way home, I was going to go look at jobs, and then I almost had to pull over on 76, dude, because it was raining so crazy. Like,
damn.
Everybody was going like 55 with their flashers on, and like, yeah, I couldn't go much faster than that without hydroplaning. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to go look at that job in Brighton, so I'm going to head home.
That's crazy. There was a tornado, a funnel cloud, just like 3 days ago in Brighton.
Yeah.
It's been pretty wild here, man.
Yeah, man, careful. You'll wind up and, you know, not be in Kansas anymore.
I'm glad we got a basement. That's all I think of when I see that shit. I'm like, damn. If you guys are in the area, just come to our house.
Yeah, I'll come get down in your basement with you. Kick it, you know.
I got a gym down there. We'll start pumping some iron.
Yeah, you know, why not? If you're going to die or if the world's going to end or whatever, you know, you might as well be getting jacked, you know?
Yeah. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to barricade the door yet. I'm like, it's just going to fly open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be like Twister. We're going to get sucked out.
Sucked out.
On that note, shall we talk about some sports?
Yeah, you know what? I guess that's kind of what we're here to do. So we may as well get into it. Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
Yes, indeedly doodly. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in the NFL, but we're still going to hit it anyways because that's what we got.
Mini camp's happening.
Mini camp is happening. Most of them are done. I think the Giants and a few others are still going on. Is the Chiefs going on right now?
Day 1 was today.
Oh, wow. See, it's weird. The Broncos are already done.
They're not working hard enough, man.
They're not. There goes their chance.
Says a lot right there.
Man.
I do
there
hate
goes
those,
their chance.
I hate those videos where there's
You can talk.
football, wait a little bit.
Happens. Close the final. 69. Offense.
No, you're good. We got to play it.
Yeah.
But,
Go for it.
I hate those pictures when like Peyton's there, man. I can't. I just out of all the quarterbacks to kind of be Bo Nix's mentor.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it is, you know, I never thought when he came here that he would still be here like, as much as he is. And, like, he's like a permanent fixture in Colorado.
He really loves it, man. He's at the Nuggets games and everything.
Yeah, he's at, pretty much anything sports-wise. But, yeah, it's pretty crazy to see him out there all the time.
It's pretty cool, man. It goes to show you he likes Denver a little more than Tennessee.
Yeah. It ain't no Rocky Top, but we got the Rocky Mountains.
That's right.
So,
Even better.
Indeed.
Yeah. But
so let's get into the NFL.
Yep, so the couple news that we do have came out, I think, a couple days ago that Bengals and Trey Hendrickson resumed talks on his contract coming off an all-pro season and leading the NFL in sacks with 17.5. So this is good for the Bengals.
Yeah. We still got to see him actually do it. Apparently, as all of this stuff is coming out over the years, it turns out that the Bengals are one of the most cheap organizations in the NFL, which is pretty surprising because they've been a winning organization for. The Marvin Lewis days with the old red rifle. They were always in the playoffs.
That's what was so surprising about them firing Marvin Lewis is because he had made the playoffs quite a bit, but never won.
Yeah.
He always made it to the playoffs, but never. He maybe had maybe 1 or 2 wins. But so listening to the Heed the Call podcast, they talked about this in reference back to when Carson Palmer was there. And I guess there was a famous quote where he said, "I've just had enough of this." They won't pay. Do you know their practice field, they have to walk under a freeway?
Yeah.
It's like a high school practice field, dude.
Well, nowadays, honestly, most colleges have better facilities than a lot of these NFL teams do.
Big time. Well, it's like how shitty is it that MetLife and a lot of other stadiums are doing this? They put real grass down for the FIFA Cup when it's like you have guys breaking their ankles all year long, because of your fake ass shit, and now you're gonna get grass. So,
well, it's for the World Cup.
Yep.
FIFA.
I'm not interested in that. Really
I might watch a couple matches if it gets interesting.
But it sucks. The U.S. might not even be in it.
The U.S. sucks.
They finally snapped their losing streak.
You get a berth no matter what if it's in your home. I think you get it.
Really?
I think so. But it's pretty embarrassing.
It is that, yeah. They had lost 4 in a row, and it was their longest losing streak since 1982. I think it was in the 80s, but it's just and who they just beat recently was Tobago, some country.
Tobago, yeah.
Tobago, Topanga from Boy Meets World. What? I'm I don't even know. So a win's a win, I guess. But back to the NFL. This is cool news for the Chiefs. Governor Mike Keogh, I think this is how you say his last name, signs a legislative package on Saturday, which includes hundreds of millions in aid to persuade the Chiefs and Royals to stay in the state. I believe it was somewhere around $700 million.
Yeah, I just saw hundreds of millions.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
But we'll see if it works. The Chiefs were saying, how much was it?
If what they wanted
for the renovations,
I think they estimated $1.4 billion,
something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely going to help some. I'm surprised that they were able to pull it off because anymore, nobody wants to pay for the NFL stadium.
It was a tough situation.
I'm surprised they got this through.
Well, and the last one was when they tried to put the Royals. It was a year ago. They tried passing something to put the Royals right in downtown, and it was going to eliminate tons of small businesses, neighborhoods, and didn't have any plan to relocate them or, hey, we're going to take over your building, eminent domain, and we don't have any plan where to put you.
Yeah.
So I was really glad that didn't pass. I really like where it's at. It's. The thing of it is as comparison, I guess. I don't have too many cities to compare to, like our other guests that we had on. But just going here, the tailgating scene here in Denver is just so much different because you don't have this massive parking lot because they share a parking lot with the Royals and they just have this huge land space out there in Missouri.
Yeah, in between the two of them.
And so, the barbecue tailgating scene is world renowned as opposed to here. You got people pulling off on the side on I-25 and parking in alleys and shit. And so I'm glad that they kept it out there. It sucks because half of me kind of wants a nice dome for the Chiefs. You see and Clark Hunt, I guess, when he was at the Super Bowl in Vegas was just wowed by their Allegiant Stadium and wanted that. It's this rich kid sees this other rich kid's house and it's I want this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, that would be nice, but Arrowhead is very historic. Hopefully they can get the renovations nice enough to where it can last another 20 years and then we can move on.
Yeah. Did you hear the Broncos have bought land? Did we talk
I did,
about
in the
that
railroad.
yet?
No, we
Yeah.
haven't. Right there, kind of near Globeville a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's between 6th and 10th. It is kind of like it's a big chunk of land.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna happen. They're staying in Denver because they bought a shitload of land. I believe it's like $142 million in land.
Yeah.
So
But it's pretty much an abandoned railroad area.
yeah,
right?
or it was like an old rail yard or something
Yeah.
like that. So
That's good. It'll make the city look a lot better. Right
yeah,
in that area.
yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do with the old one. That'll be interesting. But
Turned into apartment complexes,
probably,
Yeah.
that's probably what'll happen.
Wouldn't
But
doubt it.
so there's some other news as well. This one, although it's not really that big of a deal, but it is kind of viral right now. So we're gonna talk about it in hopes that we'll go viral too. But Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles were gonna have a 100-meter race supposedly this weekend, and Tyreek thinks that Noah Lyles got scared after a video was posted of Tyreek running a 10.15 100-meter, which is not exactly close to Noah Lyles. I think Noah runs a 9.78, but still, pretty wild for a guy who doesn't spend his whole life sprinting and is not that far off of the fastest guy for the U.S.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked too because, I mean,
that is like 500ths of a second, but
no, in track time and
that's
swimming,
a lot. Yeah.
that's every 100th of a second. It's a lot, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really. What is the reason why it got canceled?
Noah said it's because of personal reasons.
Okay,
but this did all happen like today, and that video of Tyreek came out, I think, over this weekend or something.
Yeah.
So Tyreek is like, now he's posting that like Simpsons meme of Homer going into the bushes, but it's Noah Lyles.
I just don't get it, dude. It's like, man, focus on football. Like these track stars would.
I still think it's crazy we haven't heard anything else about his arrest or
dangling a baby over the balcony.
Yeah.
Like
Pulled
how
a
was
Michael
that?
Jackson
Seriously,
with
that's
blanket.
Exactly what that was, man.
Still think it's crazy. Michael Jackson named that kid Blanket.
Wow, that is crazy. I didn't know that. That is weird. But yeah, and I did see where Tyreek, I did see a headline that he's going to be training for the 2028 Olympics. So yeah,
I mean, he'll compete in both the the flag football and the 100-meter.
Could, yeah,
it's a possibility.
I think he's trying to get into track because he wants to run away from all these child support payments. Probably. That's just my hunch.
Yeah, well, it's hard to run away from him. Where everywhere you run to, you have another kid.
Another one.
Poor Tyreek, man.
Yeah. So dumb.
What can you do?
Yep, glad he's not on our team.
Yeah, neither of our teams. Good thing.
That's true. But I think that does wrap it up for the NFL.
It does. Where would you like to go next?
Let's,
We're kind of free formed here because our guest is not coming on tonight. We had a scheduling snafu, so to speak.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
And
all right.
move on.
Mix it up, and in the light of the new Royals shirt, who are in a huge slump right now, let's move to the Big League Chew.
All right,
we always do baseball last, so it is baseball season.
Juvenile delinquent
That's
in the
true.
offseason in his major league debut.
It's baseball season.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering.
Almost
A bit outside.
over a
He
third
tried the corner and
of the way through the season now.
Yeah, getting close to the All-Star break. The All-Stars are going to get announced pretty soon, and Bobby Witt will be one.
Oh,
even though
nice.
I kind of argue that he doesn't quite deserve it this year. It's almost more of like the voting for it that's kind of getting him there. He is having much more of a slump than in other years.
Okay, yeah.
But still going to rep him, and he's going to finish the year strong.
Yeah, I saw the Rockies posted on their like social media, like, "Oh yeah, vote for Ezekiel Tovar for the for the All-Star," and it's like, I don't think any Rocky deserves to be on the All-Star.
Don't they have a pitcher that has like a really good ERA right now? I think.
There was that young kid, Chase Dolander, I think, or not Dolander.
Maybe that's it.
But yeah, I'm not hardly paying attention.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
But exciting thing happened last night. We didn't think this was gonna happen, but Shohei Ohtani returned to the mound.
Yes, first time since 2023.
Yes. And he had Tommy John surgery, or was it? Yep.
I believe so.
Hits every pitcher. And, wow, the Rockies did win last night because they were playing the Nationals.
Yeah,
They're up to 15 wins now.
Dude,
Look
be
at
careful. They might get out of that. They might sniff getting out past 40, you know?
That's true. But, yeah, so Tawny did face off against Dylan Cease, one of the best aces in the league, and the Padres. And the Dodgers won 6-3. He didn't get the win because I think he, let's see, trying to find, he had 2 RBIs and 2 hits in the same game that he's pitching. Pretty fucking crazy. And let's see, wow, okay, so he only pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, so they just kind of easing him into it. But,
yeah, they kind of freaked out, speaking of easing him into it, because he surprised both fans and the team when he hit over 100. He clocked in at 100.2, and the team was hoping for him to stay under 100 in his first return back. They're like, we were hoping that he wouldn't push it too far.
Pitched that like miles per hour?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wow. What's wrong with that?
Because they're like, it's his first start. They're like, he should have stayed like high 90s and not really pushed it to 100.
What if the wind's behind him?
You never know. Yeah, he could have farted when he threw it.
It's gusts of wind, man. It's nuts.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but,
So,
that is news. So he'll be back in the rotation now. Because so when this came out that he was going to be, because he had been warming up and doing simulations, he hadn't really faced any live batters outside of like a batting practice type situation. They said that the Dodgers pitching staff was ranking around, I think it was like 20th, 24th in different categories. So they kind of needed him. I think that's why they did it.
Well, and also you're paying the guy $500 million to do both hitting and be good at that, and to pitch very well too.
Yeah.
So he needed to come back and help them out. They've also been dealing with some injuries this year too, as well. But other news: Rafael Devers, who we brought up actually the other week when we were talking about Roman Anthony being the youngest to start for the Red Sox. Well, that was initially Rafael Devers, who I think still actually holds the record for the youngest to start. But unfortunately, the Red Sox and Rafael have they reached a little bit of an impasse where they could no longer amicably work together. And it all started this offseason when spring training, when they asked him to become the third baseman, and he refused to move to third base. And
it was to make room for another star that they just traded for.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I spoke wrong. They initially wanted him to move from third base to designated hitter, and then he eventually softened his stance on that, but then issues flared up again when Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow approached Devers about playing first base last month. They still haven't said what exactly was they're calling it an inflection point in terms of what the specific reasoning was. But needless to say, they trade him away. And where did he go to?
The Giants.
The Giants, yeah, that's right.
They traded him away for 2 players and 2 prospects. And the crazy thing is, once he moved to DH after refusing, he hit 15 homers.
Yeah.
And he's been like killing it as a DH. But the funny thing is, today in the press conference where he got introduced as a Giant, he goes, I'm happy to be here. I'll play wherever they need me. Like, what a slap in the face, dude. I love that.
Yeah, so the 2 players are Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, and then a pair of prospects in the farm system. Man, he was making $313 million. That's so crazy.
Well, one of my favorite memes from this, dude, is remember when it was like, 3 years ago now? Maybe 4, that the Red Sox traded away Mookie Betts. And it's the SpongeBob meme where it's like, you want to see me trade away our best franchise player? And then you see Mookie Betts, and then it's like, want to see me do it again? And then it's Rafael Devers. It's like, God damn, dude. They just don't stop. They just keep trading away their best
I've seen
player.
a bunch of people joking about, like, they should go, like, since that, we'll be talking about him later, but Gage Wood, people are like, the Red Sox should go out and draft Gage Wood, and then in 5 years trade him away once he becomes their best player. Because they just keep trading away their best players, and it's happened twice now in the last 5 years. And it seems to be a thing. I don't know why they keep doing that, but
It's just what they do.
It's what they do.
Yep.
It's their, their, what's the word I'm looking for?
their
Modus
trendy thing.
operandi. That's it.
Wow.
There
A
you
little
go.
Latin for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Latin
Big
kings.
Yeah. Oh, shit, dude, be careful. We're going
Right.
to end up dead.
Can't say that on the air.
No, let's hit the standings real quick here. I'll let you take the American League since that is where your team lies.
All right, I'm almost loaded.
I'll start
Right,
with
go
the
ahead.
National League.
Had to refresh it.
So in the National League in the East, we have the New York Mets at 45-27. The Philadelphia Phillies in second there, 43-29. The Braves just behind them, 31-39. Moving to the Central, we have the Chicago Cubs, 44-28. Milwaukee Brewers, 39-34. The St. Louis Cardinals, 37-35. And then moving to the West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 44-29. San Francisco Giants, speaking of which, Rafael Devers just went there, 41-31, and the Padres 39-32. And as Chad said, the Colorado Rockies have now 15 wins and 57 losses. Their run differential now is -201. Go Rockies!
Wow. Giving up a lot of runs there. Yeah. All right. Now to the American League. The New York Yankees keep winning. Aaron Judge is leading. He is pretty much the unanimous MVP. I think if he didn't play the rest of the year, he could probably still win it. He's leading in homers, batting average, you name it. He's having a stellar year again. But the Yankees are in first at 42-29, 2.5 games up on the Rays. And then in the Central Division, the Tigers, really good team this year, 46-27, 9 games up on the Twins. My Royals down there, at that fourth place, man, 11.5 games back. It's just a tough division to be in. Then you got the West Division, the Houston Astros, 41-31, 4.5 games up on the Mariners. And then the Athletics still trailing. Oh, that's a pretty bad division there. The Rangers, Angels, and Athletics all around the same area.
Yeah.
But
Yay!
All-Star break coming up here probably in a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Aaron Judge, he is having a great year, but he did struggle this weekend against the Red Sox. This past week, he went 1 for 12, but then right when everybody was all like, "Oh man, he's gonna blow this and just go over," he hit a game-tying home run.
Oh wow!
So it's like even when he does bad, he still does something.
That's what's so crazy,
and
man.
Totally redeem yourself.
Exactly right. That's when we need that clip right there. We need to get that clip in there.
Dude, you know what?
You know, Lloyd,
When did we
just
get
when I
this
think
in?
you couldn't possibly be any
I
dumber,
feel like this is back when I lived on Kit Ridge.
you go and do something like
I totally
this.
forgot about this.
And totally redeem yourself!
Number one favorite comedy movie.
So yes, that's what Aaron Judge did, and we got to use that. I knew we had it. I was like, we had it for something. I don't remember why. But yeah, that's it for the MLB there.
That wraps it up.
Where should we go next? We want to talk about NBA first, or the NHL,
So we got
or the F1?
Yeah, the F1's going to take a minute. So let's cover PGA real quick, and then I think we should do music break, and then end off with the big shebangs.
Alrighty then. Let's get to the PGA.
Daily.
Let's go home! That's your home!
Well, JJ Spaun is a dog.
Yes, he technically is.
Yep.
Everybody did not like Oakmont. All the greats of right now did not do good. I mean, JJ Spaun wins. What was he? -1.
-1. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was even until one of the most legendary putts in U.S. Open history. I mean, this had to have been a 30-foot putt. You see where he's putting from. He's like 6 feet to the right of the hole, takes a huge curve, goes up and over a hill. I mean, he went to his happy place.
He did.
He succeeded.
That was good.
Took the ball
say that.
home.
Oh, that was actually a 64-foot putt.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, the guy that was behind him, I forget what his name is. He was watching after he had finished, and he sees him hit that putt, and they're like asking him a question. He's just watching it, and he's just like, "Wow!" He's like, "I can't believe he just sunk that putt."
It was incredible. That's what did it to seal the win. He was the only golfer to finish under par over the whole weekend. Oakmont is notorious for having, like we mentioned last week, very high roughs. It was around 5.5 inches in the rough. The fairways average about 30 yards of width. I mean, it's a tough course to play
There's
on.
a 300-yard par 3.
Yeah. So,
and then, I mean, they were stopped by rain at one point. Weren't sure if there was going to be, a full delay or not. But, at one point on Sunday, they were squeegeeing off the greens and fairways so they could get it done. So,
jeez.
pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy indeed. And if nobody knows the name JJ Spaun, if you remember when Rory McIlroy had the epic Masters win, he had that in a playoff against JJ Spaun.
Oh, yeah, he collapsed at the end, huh? And because Rory was battling to keep up, and then he just kind of collapsed, and Rory came back.
Yeah, Spaun had a chance to really win it, and then I think he bogeyed like the last one. And that's what's so crazy is on Sunday, he bogeyed 5 out of his first 6 holes, and then just climbed his way back after that.
Yeah, I think he also hit a hole-in-one, too, on one of the other days. Hold on.
I think you might be right. Or no, he hit a albatross. It was a double eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he was locked in, man.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
I do want to read this quote here for him because this is really cool. Last year in June, this is a quote from Spaun. Last year in June, I was looking like I was going to lose my job, and that was when I had that moment where if this is how I go out, I might as well go down swinging. That's kind of how my coach tells me about my golf shots or my golf swing on the course. If there's a challenging shot, he's like, at least you go down committing to the shot. Don't bail out right because you feel uncomfortable. Just go down swinging. That's John Daly right there. You might as well put the swing you want on it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's kind of the mantra I've been having all year. So
yeah, it's super cool.
Feel like he's been hanging out with John Daly. Grip it and rip it.
Yeah, and like Chad just said, he lost that big Players Championship to Rory. He's won one PGA Tour event, the Texas Open. That was 3 years ago. This Open was the second U.S. Open of his career. He was trailing by a shot through 3 rounds and playing on Sunday with Victor Hovland. And then, he hits the crazy birdie putt there to win it all.
And I don't know if you saw this too, but I had seen where this was pretty cool. I think it was technically Sunday morning, where it might have been Saturday morning around like 3 a.m. He had to leave and go get like baby formula for his daughter and go like find like a Walgreens because they were out and come back. And then I think it was like Sunday morning because comes back on Father's Day and wins the U.S. Open. It was like, what a perfect Father's Day ending for this guy.
And the other week we see Scotty Scheffler get handed a baby who shit up its back.
Yeah.
So
these guys are dads.
Even though these guys are out there winning millions in high pressure situations on Sundays, they're dads as soon as that last putt hits the bottom of that hole.
Yeah,
you're dad again, and it doesn't matter.
No, but stay up that late and then go and win. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, John Daly would have been doing it, but he would have been getting hammered. But JJ Spaun getting baby formula, different kind of formula.
Different kind of formula indeed.
Well, on that note, it is time for the music break. We had that cool little music break last week about Mr. Doc Ellis, but this week we are going to be featuring, and for the rest of this month, Sick Things. The name of this song is Time the Avenger, off of their new album, To Beaucoup. So they are French-Canadian. That's why Beaucoup.
Okay.
That's the cool spelling.
Sweet.
Yeah, so,
lay it on me.
which means too much. So here it goes.
I'm a dirty thief with a beady eye. A pierced
You just heard Sick Things. The name of that song is Time the Avenger off of their new album that just dropped a couple months ago, To Boku. So go check them out. They're kind of like a Thin Lizzy-esque.
Yeah, I dig it.
Rock and roll band.
Yep, good old rock and roll.
Good old rock and roll. Well, Chad, do you want to go NHL or do you want to go NBA? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
NHL.
Let's hit the NHL. Okay, he's going to hit the NHL, he says.
I don't want to end on NBA because I got a little bitch rant that I want to go on.
NBA, Chad's got a rant.
Yep.
Chad's got a rant. What's new? So yeah, it is time to get into the NHL. The Stanley Cup Final could be over tonight. Panthers have a 3-2 lead after a 5-2 whooping on Edmonton last Saturday. The game is tonight. It starts
in Florida.
At 6 in Florida. The cup is in the house. But you know, there are some things going Edmonton's way here. Let's see here. The Edmonton Oilers are facing elimination for the first time this postseason. Last year, they were 5-1 in elimination games, including 3 in the Stanley Cup Finals. And then the other thing going their way. Road teams facing elimination in Game 6 are 6-6 in the past 12 meetings. But, big question for Edmonton, Chad. Who's playing goalie?
Is it going to be
Calvin
Skinner?
Pickard? Yeah, or Stuart
Or
Skinner.
Skinner.
Pickard
I
or
don't know.
Skinner?
I
Which
think I'd
one?
go Pickard, but I don't know. He's the one that just gave up the 5 goals last game.
Yeah,
Didn't
they both have been struggling
Yeah.
a little bit, but they are running into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
That is the Florida Panthers.
They've just been putting up tons of goals. It was a couple games ago, not game 5, game 4. I just had a feeling. I was like, this game's gonna go, and that was the game that went to the 3rd overtime of this final. I mean, can we just get these two teams in the final every year?
Well, and they're talking about it right now, too. This has been one of the chippiest Stanley Cup finals we can remember in a long time. I guess, like, it is pretty hate-filled shit-talking going back and forth here.
Yeah.
They do not like each other. And the Panthers, you know, we've talked about this before. This is we've had this repeat happen before between two teams playing back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. The Panthers could be the first team to repeat by beating the same team since the Canadiens did it to the Bruins in 77 and 78. So it has been a while.
It's hard to do.
I don't know. We talked about it last week. I don't see how Edmonton can come back to win 2. I mean, at least you get Game 7 at home, but the goalie situation is killing
It doesn't
them.
seem to matter too, because the Panthers just won Game 5 in Edmonton, and I mean, it's just they were lucky last Thursday night. I would call it that. We were watching the game at State House, and it was crazy. I was like, all right, that's what I was going to get. I was like, the way these two teams are playing, the over under was 6.5. And
that's what it's sitting at tonight, too.
Yeah, I put the over because I mean for one, you might just get that from the Panthers, just because they're scoring and they're shooting lots on goal, and so we're watching it, and the Panthers go up 3-0, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, hopefully they can get 7 because they're knocking, they're going to win this game. Next thing I know, in a blink of an eye, it's tied up 3-3.
Yeah.
And that game goes to overtime. The Oilers end up winning it, and they end up becoming the first team out
That
of
was when Leon
37.
Draisaitl got that winning goal. Yeah.
His 4th game-winning goal in overtime this playoffs. And it's just crazy because I guess teams going in to like in the Stanley Cup Final were 37-0 when they were up 3-0 after the first period.
Not
Now,
after that.
37-1.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, those are always great stats to hear, and then it's like, but now it's 1.
Yep. There's that one team.
Tonight, though, Panthers favored -165, Oilers +140. As Chad mentioned, the Panthers are scoring in bunches. Marchand has 6 goals in these finals, most since Esa Tikkanen in '88.
Wow.
He's the first player to score 5 or more in the Cup Final for multiple teams, and his 5 in road games are the most since Jack Adams of the 1922 Vancouver Millionaires, who
I'm glad
had
you put-
6.
Yeah, and that's a ton, and that's just it. Is like before these last 2 or 3 games, it was really looking like Sam Bennett was going to win the Conn Smythe due to the other Panthers series because of how well he played. But I think Marchand might be creeping up on him, trying to steal that Conn Smythe trophy.
Yeah, I think right now
We should talk about Connor. Oh God, dude.
Connor
Cale
Hellebuck.
McCarr.
Oh, Cale McCarr.
Yes, yeah, and the other awards that came out.
Yeah, we could talk about that real quick.
Yep.
Let's see.
I forgot to include
NHL
that.
awards.
But Cale McCarr did win the Norris Trophy again.
Yeah, he did. He did. Let's see here. I was trying to see. Oh, I wanted to see. I didn't want explanations of each one. I wanted to see who won. Oh yes, we did have something that hasn't happened in a little bit. Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets takes home both the Hart Memorial Trophy and the Vezina Trophy, so he gets MVP and best goalie. Cale McCarr, as Chad just said, wins the Norris Trophy, and Lane Hudson of the Montreal Canadiens was awarded the Calder Trophy. So yeah, that's the 2025 award winners right there. The last one left is the Conn Smythe. And I believe Sam Bennett is still leading statistically right now if you were to look at his odds.
Yeah.
But, with another huge game by Marchand, you could easily see him surpass him. Man, the Bruins have to be kicking themselves for letting him go. And they let him go, I think, for just one first rounder.
Wow. Well, that's actually a really good point because I did see that Mario Lemieux and I think a few others are looking to buy the Penguins because of how the Penguins ownership has just kind of run that organization in the ground over the last 3 or 4 years.
That'd be cool to see some guys come back.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Marchand leaves, the Bruins, who were, just a hammer of a team the last few years, and they received they only got a conditional second round pick in the 2027 NHL draft. That was all they got.
Wow.
So yeah, and he's right now basically the lifeblood of the Panthers in scoring at an incredible rate in the Stanley Cup Final, and the Bruins are out of it. So that's a bummer for them. So that about wraps it up for the NHL. I don't have anything else to add unless you do. So.
Nope, that should be it. The puck should be dropping any minute.
Yeah, probably here shortly. We're gonna get the national anthems done and then get it rolling.
Yes, indeed.
But let's get into F1. You want to do F1 now?
Let's do it, man.
Okay, I didn't get to watch this one, so I just know what happened in bits and pieces.
Cool. I've watched it.
I watched the middle, which apparently I missed some really good stuff at the end of the
right at the end,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. Lando Norris kind of had another blunder. Had that epic scene where he's just walking away from the car that he wrecked.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy too because someone showed this top and bottom picture where 7 years ago to the date, where I don't know if it was the same date, but at the 7 years ago at the Canadian Grand Prix, in McLaren's teammates did the exact same on the same turn and everything.
Yeah.
Did the exact same mistake. It was Lewis Hamilton and somebody else. I'm not sure who was the one that wrecked, but it's just like crazy. It's like, man, we really are in a simulation. That's just nuts.
God.
But yeah, so
Plug
basically
me back in.
it was really nuts where Oscar Piastri was kind of having a rough weekend. He didn't qualify very well. He didn't get the pole while having the best car out of the field. And then George Russell gets the pole. And then Lando Norris has a pretty good race. And then it was looking like he was going to finish fourth. Didn't really pan out too well because when he's coming around, I think there was like maybe 3 or 4 laps to go. Well, no, I take that back because there was a safety car that lasted until the very last lap and they needed to finish it on that. Yeah. So then he basically tried hitting this gap that wasn't there and ran his car into the wall and then it just stalled. So
yeah, and it's unfortunate for him as he has to retire after that.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Oscar Piastri manages to continue racing and ends up finishing just off of the podium there. But Mercedes stands atop the podium at 1 and 3 as George Russell wins.
And it's kind of overshadowed because Kimi Antonelli, the rookie, gets his first podium.
Yeah, finishes third. This kid's been just showing flashes all season in terms of just what kind of driver he can be, and it's proving to be a great choice by Toto Wolff.
It really
to
was.
go grab this kid,
Yeah,
and move him into the missing seat, the empty seat, so to speak.
right there at the very start of the race, he overtook Piastri, and I mean, he just did it with, it looked like a veteran out there. Just moved right in front of him, didn't like have to, risk anything, did exactly what he needed to. And, the pit stops, there was a lot of pit stops because it was a very long race, 70 laps in Canada, 5. Some of these guys had like Alonso had 6 pit stops, so
I have a few in there, just keep changing things around, see if you can get it figured out.
Russell's really lucky though. It wasn't like another 1 or 2 laps because Verstappen was right on his heels. He finished 0.228 behind him. That was the gap. He was going to overtake him. He kept trying, but just wasn't quite anything there. And then, of course, with and it got kind of tense. Actually, I forgot about this. This was nuts. I don't know if you saw this, but during so when Lando wrecked, it basically led to the very end of the race ending right like a safety car. And then when they were riding around with the safety car in front of them, George Russell has Verstappen almost like fuck with him and act like he's going to overtake him. And on the radio, he's like, "What the hell? He just tried to overtake me." It's like, I guess he didn't do anything quite wrong. He didn't fully complete the overtake.
Yeah.
But it was just funny seeing, because Russell hates Verstappen, man. It was kind of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Those knuckleheads.
So, Verstappen does get some, headway towards the McLarens in the Drivers' Championship, but he's still got a lot of ways to work. Piastri still in the lead at 198, Lando Norris 176, and then Verstappen at 155.
There you go.
And
then let's see what the
Russell.
Well, I was going to go to the constructors because it might have changed a little bit now.
Yeah.
Let's see
Well,
here.
after that-
Mercedes is now in second.
Wow, damn,
Yeah.
they did. That's cool.
Yeah, so McLaren 374, head and shoulders above everybody else, but Mercedes now in second with 199 points, Ferrari in third with 183, and Red Bull still sniffing around there at the top 3 with 162. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, and Russell's now at 136. He's, like I said, Verstappen's at 155. So he's just kind of right there behind Verstappen. So he's trying to get that third place.
He's trying to.
Yep.
Little rascals.
We really could, and could finally be somewhat of a close finish towards the end of the year.
Yeah, surprisingly, especially in terms of the drivers.
Yeah.
Not so much the
No, the
constructors.
constructors go. McLaren's blowing everybody away.
Yeah.
It's if their drivers can figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, when is the next one here? We've got,
that's a good question.
let me get over here real quick. Let me go right here.
It is the Austrian GP, June 29th.
Nice.
So that's next week, right? 7 a.m.
Yep.
So get another
Early
week
one.
off.
Got an early one again.
Yep.
So, dang it.
Yeah, so and after the race, I think it was Sunday night or Monday night, it was the premiere of F1 in New York, Brad Pitt's new movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked Max, "Are you going to go watch this?" And he was like, "No, I'm going to," because, now that you see that they have a 2-week gap, he was like, "No, I'm going to go home to my daughter."
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the
I'm
movie
not
at all.
doing that, idiots.
It's so funny, dude. But dude, I'm pumped to watch that. As soon as Hannah comes back from visiting her family, we're going to go watch that.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's get to some basketball.
let's get to some basketball. Basketball. Yeah.
Magic, right side to Scott. Slam dunk. 4 seconds. 3 seconds left. Why are they not fouling? Jumper Murray. Denver bounce.
Pump fake for 2. Kobe's got the Laker record. 81-point game. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
T, come on. I'm burning.
Time out.
My lungs are burning.
Well,
Tyrese Halliburton's legs are burning.
That's true. After hearing that soundbite, I am just really craving the Nuggets. It sucks that they're not in it because I hate watching these finals, and that's why I've watched very, very little. It's even just a little bit you got to watch. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last night, we see the Thunder go off. Jalen Williams has his breakout game. He goes off for 40 points. SGA ends up with 30 points. But yeah, it's just kind of lackluster. And then the whole thing with Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt,
He's got a calf strain.
Dang, that sucks. But Jamal Murray had the same thing happen to him when they won it, so it's still possible. They're gonna go see with an MRI how bad it is today. It's tough to determine the severity. He did play through it, but they got whooped up and down the court defensively. You look here, their defense, 12 block shots and 15 steals.
Their defense is ridiculous.
Yeah, 27 turnovers and block shots total.
This is what I'll say to this, and this is exactly why I hate watching these finals, because the Thunder are allowed to play one way on defense and the Pacers are not allowed to play. It's watching two different games, man. You don't have to watch much, and I'm on Twitter a lot to where I see a lot of these plays isolated, and Lou Dort, who is a linebacker, is playing like a linebacker. When he's on defense, he's barreling into guys that are setting screens, and they're calling fouls on the guys setting the screens.
Yeah,
moving screen. It's just, I get it. Even in last Friday night when we were watching the game at Mountain Pass, it was badass. I was like, oh my God, are the Pacers really going to go up 3-1? And, no, it was tied at that point. It would have been 3-2. Yeah, excuse me. But, yeah, it just, they blew it. They really finished that game really bad. And then, they let the Thunder kind of do this. But, it's just like when they play the Nuggets, man. It's just insane how they're able to play. And you look at these stats, the 12 blocks, the 15 steals. They're allowed to be so physical on defense without getting a foul called on them. It's ridiculous. Rick, perfect example. When I watched the first quarter last night before shutting it off, because it was just it's a horrible product. Rick Clark, it was 12-19, and so it was still somewhat of a game. One of the guys on the Pacers goes in for a layup, and he gets his legs taken out from him. And the guy on the Thunder that committed the foul, he didn't have his feet set. It was clearly a foul. Rick Carlisle, the coach for the Pacers, loses it. Gets a tech called on him, and I was really happy to see he did that, because that's what should happen. He should be upset. He should try to get his team motivated by getting a tech, but it merits a tech. It's just ridiculous. Like what we're watching, man. It's just shitty fucking basketball.
It is not fun to watch, and it's unfortunate that this is the product. And it's showing up again. We talked about it last week, but people are still bringing it up. People aren't watching, and
nobody cares.
It is kind of the unfortunate side effect of going to the the parity model rather than having the super teams, is that now these people aren't super invested into the finals because they don't have a whole bunch of these, top name guys. Yeah. We do have the MVP, and Tyrese Halliburton is definitely one of the guys.
He's a rising star.
He's a rising star. But it's just not as compelling as it should be. And again, the NBA is not doing a very good job of making it compelling either.
No, and it's because if it wasn't the Thunder and the foul baiting, man, perfect example. Let's say the Timberwolves were in it. Let's say the Timberwolves beat the Thunder to go. I would be watching these a lot more. It's fun watching Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
He doesn't just try to draw fouls the whole time. Last night was a perfect example. After the game, I get on Twitter, and I see this post that says, only SGA gets to go to the free throw after a jump ball.
I know. That's like, how does that happen?
Him and McConnell get tied up with the ball and get a jump ball. They have a jump ball, and McConnell tries swiping for the ball, catches SGA's hand, foul, go to the line. You can't watch it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and it's not even an active shooting. Like it's just like, what are we doing here?
I swear next year I plan on just kind of watching the Nuggets, and then how they do in the playoffs, but I mean, I'm saying it right here, and I hope this goes through the interwebs and our notoriety catches Adam Silver, because there are so many other people on X and on the media saying the same thing. This product sucks. I don't plan on continuing to watch it. My fandom is going way down for the NBA. It's not fun to watch with the way SGA plays in the Thunder. I mean, like I said, it's not just him. I mean, they are playing like an NFL defense when they're on defense, because of the way they're grabbing, holding, pulling, and it's shitty, man. I can't do it. Next year we'll talk a little bit about basketball, but I don't think I'm going to be watching.
Well, hopefully the Nuggets are in it.
Well, I mean, I'll talk about the Nuggets, but outside of that, with the NBA, and I don't really care. Maybe I'll get more into baseball or something. Like, I don't know, man. This sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun, but it'll be over soon.
And then the NFL.
And then the NFL's here. Yeah,
the all-powerful.
The all-powerful NFL will be here. The Pacers, they're in the finals, but they're still making moves. They shipped their number 23 overall pick to the Pelicans to get back their 26th first-round pick selection. They will be giving their first round in next week's NBA draft for their own 2026 back from the Pelicans.
Let me get that back.
If that makes any sense to you guys. Yeah. They gave it away. They wanted it back. They got it back at the cost of another first rounder.
Right. There was a big one, though, over the weekend.
Which one are we done?
Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane. Yeah.
Yes.
And you want to explain to me how this makes sense compared to the Luka Doncic trade, where let's see what we get here. 4 unprotected first-round picks and 1 first-round pick swap. Let's see here. The Magic send KCP and Cole Anthony to the Grizzlies. And from what I've heard, the Grizzlies are open to trading Ja Morant now.
That's what So that's what I've heard from the insiders, is that they're kind of setting up to trade Ja Morant. I think they're going to try to build a different team and get away from all the drama and the injury plague Ja Morant. Bring him to Denver.
Yeah,
we got lax gun laws here.
Well, and he's already a fan of Shotgun Willies.
So. Who isn't?
It's a big swing for Orlando. They're definitely trying to win now with the core of Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Jalen Suggs. Now you add Desmond Bane to the mix. They might make some noise in the East now. We'll see.
All right,
but.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Caitlin Clark and the fever?
Yes, I do.
Are they giving you the fever?
Yeah. So she made her return on Saturday, and it was pretty badass because she handed the New York Liberty their first loss. Talk about Indiana really just giving it to New York. You had the Pacers eliminate the Knicks, and then the Fever give the Liberty their first loss. And that is Caitlin Clark had 32 points, and this was nuts, man. I saw on X later that so I was kind of following this game, going back and forth. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was like letting little man play with his pool or something at the time, but I was kind of tracking
pool
it.
Time.
And I got on the X later to find out like this is what really swung the game. Is she hit 3 like logo threes back to back to back. And then it like gave them the tie. It tied them up with the Liberty and Breanna Stewart. And then it was a close game the whole way. And yeah, that's a huge win for the Fever. They were kind of in a slump, obviously, without Caitlin Clark. The WNBA's ratings dropped 50% as a whole when she was hurt.
It's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw this about Angel Reese.
And her shoe.
Well, her shoes was a big thing in terms of how much she wanted to sell them for, which I believe was like $1,000.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "How about $200?"
Yeah.
I think they wanted to sell them for like $70 or something. But the Me Bounds thing has become a little bit of a viral thing, and she has now filed for a trademark for the term Me Bounds. But then there was the Stadium Live guys on TikTok were doing Angel Reese missing the first shot prop bets. She sent them a cease and desist to stop that their live tweet.
She has no grounds to do that.
I don't know how that works, but
they're able to put anybody can put a prop bet on that.
Yeah.
Make the shot.
Well,
Try that.
I know, but I think it's the fact that they're like making
streaming it or whatever.
So
oh my god,
there's probably some.
She sucks.
She does kind of suck.
One of the funniest things I saw, unfortunate riots and all this stuff going on. There's this funny post. I mean, it's sad to make jokes about all this stuff, but one funny one is it was like, someone needs to stop Angel Reese out there at all these riots handing out all these bricks. So much stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Now Caitlin Clark, after that 32-point game, she owns she is in, I think she has more 32-point games than, I think it's 96% of all WNBA players in history.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That is nuts.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, that wraps it up for basketball.
Let's get into the DDOE, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get on out of here. Time for the DDOE. It's time to grip it, rip it, and hit it.
Dude, this guy's jacked, man. I would not want to go up against him.
Yeah, he's no slouch, so to speak. This week we are featuring Mr. Gage Wood. Hell of a name there.
Yep.
Gage Wood.
And look at this. John Daly's from Arkansas.
Yeah,
he is a Razorback.
He went to college.
Dude,
so
we didn't even mean to do that. There we
look
go.
at that. Synchronicities all around. Yes, Arkansas's Gage Wood, who, if things don't work out in the majors, he has a great name for porn. He pitches the third no-hitter in the Men's College World Series history. Let's see here. It's the first in 65 years on Monday, striking out a record 19 batters and never letting Murray State get close to a hit in the Razorbacks' 3-0 victory. Wood joins Jim Eller of Texas in 1950 and Jim Wixon of Oklahoma State in 1960 as the only pitchers to throw no-hitters. His defense was never really challenged as he just dominated the Murray State Racers team that was making their first Omaha appearance at the College World Series.
Quite the Cinderella.
They really did have a Cinderella story. Yep. Beat a whole bunch of heavy hitters to get there.
I think it was Tennessee or something too.
Yeah, they went through a bunch of people.
Yep.
But unfortunately, they run into this junior right-hander who sets a record also for strikeouts in a 9-inning game. But he just mowed everybody down.
Yep.
He had a perfect game into the 8th inning when he caught a batter. I almost said fatter. A batter on the back foot with a curveball that was in the dirt. He said, "I knew it right when I threw it. I knew I screwed up." But he continues. I hit one more guy, but one hell of a game here pitched. And he was still throwing like 96, 97 in the ninth
got an
inning.
Arm, man. I saw this quote here is pretty cool too. The only thing special was I didn't want to go home. That's it. He said, "We're not going home. We get to play tomorrow night, but it's pretty cool."
Hell yeah.
Kind of
Gage
a humble
Wood,
response.
man. Yeah.
Hats off to them. I'm not really sure where the Razorbacks are at right now in the College World Series, but
they moved on. I had it pulled up just a second ago, but another crazy stat about this game: Wood went to the 3-ball count just twice, and 83 of his 119 pitches were strikes.
Jesus,
so this dude was dealing,
man.
Yeah, so
what a surgeon, dude! That's like Greg Maddux level.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see who they take on next. I wish it would just pull up right here, but I don't know why they make it so hard.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't follow the College World Series too much, the Men's College World Series.
Well, this isn't going to tell me. I was looking for like actual brackets. There should just be a bracket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't ever see anything.
College
like
World
that.
Series 2025 bracket. Okay, wait. So Arkansas is taking on UCLA today at 6 p.m. The winner of that game will take on LSU. And then let's see, in bracket 1, we've got Oregon State taking on Louisville. They will take on Coastal Carolina, the winner of that game.
Cool.
So, and that one is today as well. So, that one actually looks like it probably already happened at 1 p.m. So we could probably tell you the scoreboard on that one if I could get to it. But that's, for some reason, very hard to do on ESPN. So, it is what it is. You know what? We don't focus much on college baseball.
But yeah, we'll have to follow him and see where he lands in the majors.
Maybe he'll get drafted by the Rockies. Who knows? This is the last. This year they get a pick in the top 10. Next year they don't because of the anti-tanking rules. The highest they can get is 10th. But this year they have the 4th overall pick. So you never know. Maybe they'll get themselves a pitcher. I think they should just only draft pitchers. Just an entire draft of pitchers.
Because
maybe draft pitchers in Colorado that pitch good already here.
That's a really good approach because no free agents want to sign here because of the altitude. So
might as well just get a whole bunch of guys from Colorado.
Start here.
Yeah,
you can't leave.
Where'd you grow up? Highlands Ranch. Great, you're now a Rocky, and then you're just like shit.
School of Mines
sucks.
You're coming here. Fuck science.
I heard something crazy today that it was from an MLB insider on 92.5. He was talking about the Rockies, and he says other teams don't call the Rockies about trades because they don't know who to call, and when they do call, they never get their calls returned. The Rockies went after COVID. They had a whole bunch of front office people that didn't come back, or they just fired them because of COVID. They were having front office people wash uniforms after 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. They went from 10 scouts to 2.
Oh no.
They have no analytics department.
Oh geez. There should okay.
Dude, it's literally like this is Major League.
They really
They should get relegated.
I mean, it's like the opposite of Moneyball,
Yeah.
where, in Moneyball with like Jonah Hill, he had like 12 guys around a table.
Yeah.
There needs to be a 30 for 30 on why and what led to this disaster of a team. Man.
Dude, it's the monsters, man. It's crazy.
Man. Oh my God. Yeah, this is funny.
But, let's not end on that. This is for Gage Wood.
That's right.
I hope he doesn't end up a Rocky for his sake.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
On that note, it is time for us to get on out of here.
And for you guys that might be looking for us next week, we're going to be taking a little sabbatical just for a week.
That's true.
We'll be back the following week. I think that would be the 1st, maybe
somewhere in there. Yeah,
something like that. I think it is the 1st
in there.
But yeah,
Hold on a second. We had a little issue over here. This thing cut out at one point. So I got to go find the actual outro music on the computer. Everything else worked fine. It's just I couldn't change things on that for the part of the show. So give me 1 second here. I'm gonna try and find the end sounds.
Yeah. But yeah, we figure it's a good time to take a break. We've been hitting it hard, just like John Daly told us to. And the Stanley Cup Final will be over with, the NBA Final, and then when we come back on the 1st, we'll talk about all of those fun
them things.
Yep.
All them things.
I think we'll be previewing another UFC fight around that time too.
Yeah, we probably will. Oh, there it is.
All right.
Yes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make it work. But yes, thank you guys. We love you all. We appreciate you tuning in each and every week. We will not see you next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And we'll see you then. But until then, keep your eyes out on everything sports-wise.
But we'll still be on the socials.
Yes, we will. Toodles!
All right. Watch, I bet Chris